Hello and welcome. Good morning, everyone. This feels really weird. I can hear my voice before I'm even saying it. It's bizarre. Good morning. How's everyone? All good? Fantastic. I've just found out this talk 25 minutes, not 45 minutes, so I might have to whiz through this as fast as possible. But we're just based here on this stand, just behind Ben. John, our CEO, has given us a good wave, and Hannah. So any questions afterwards, please feel free to come over and we'll have a chat. I'm Britton, Managing Director of TrunkBBI. So TrunkBBI are a full-service integrated partner. We've got just over 80 staff across 3 locations in Leeds, Manchester and Cheshire, and we're about 12 and a bit years old. So we like to call ourselves the home of create and activate. What does that mean? So we love to fuse both creative and activation channels and experts together, all underpinned by strategy and insights. Rather than keeping everything siloed, we have the teams in-house, so we don't massively depend on freelancers, and we don't have loads of different agencies kind of feeding into us. We have those experts all in-house, all having the conversations at creative stage, at insight stage, and all the way through to delivery as well. I don't want to talk about us too long because I want to kind of get into the talk, but just to kind of give you a little summary as to kind of who we work for. You know, some big global brands that we do a lot of create and activate work for, and we've been lucky enough to win some amazing awards, 7 European Content Awards, Global Content Awards, and I think 4 Large Agency of the Year Awards. So we've done a lot of great work. You know, we've got a very, very talented team, and it's something we're massively proud of. Just to kind of show you, the volume's not going to come through, but summarise some of our work here. So this is everything from, it's very difficult to get performance work into a show reel, but this is mainly obviously a lot of the creative and content that we produce. Some great content. Well done, Ben. So, a case of change. Quickly whizzing through this. So, money's being wasted. I think it's evident right across all sectors, and we're going to talk through the reasons why and a couple of examples. So, 90% of consumers expect brands to provide content in multiple forms, and 58% of content is being wasted. Because it's not meaningful enough, and that is research that was done by WARC. And WARC also say, in an age of fragmentation, the importance of integration has never been more critical. Marketers now need to integrate not only their paid media, but also their owned and earned media as well. If we look at this index if we use one platform as the index of 1, it's proven through this research that using more platforms through your integrated approach does get a higher ROI. So at each platform, adding each platform on, it's got step change right through. But even in 2022, some brands are still taking a single channel approach. So from insight to opportunity, do you truly know your customer and the world that they live in? So this is our proprietary model that we use for strategy and insights, but also ensuring that we have the full client view and worldview to ensure that all of the different departments are talking to each other, all the different channels are completely aligned to ensure that when content goes out on social or TV or wherever it might be, it's being used for the right reasons. It's not just creating content for content's sake, it's actually taking the big data, fusing that with the why. What's going to make your audience move is absolutely the first question you should ask. This helps you get back to reality, and the key thing, obviously, with any content production is budget. However, Budget, I always think, it's easy for me to say, isn't important, because budget should always be, well, marketing, sorry, should always be like a vending machine. You put £1 in, you get £10 out. So your budget should almost be it's just a number for now, and then later on that can always adapt, because if you're not getting the ROI from your marketing spend, what's the point of doing marketing? You might as well go and spend it on a Christmas do. The power of integration. This is an image that's probably taking place right now across multiple brands in-house. People fighting over budget, people not integrating themselves together, not just from an agency perspective, but also in-house at brands, and trying to work out who should have this budget, who should have that budget. This needs to stop. And the reason is for many reasons, which I'm actually going to talk to you through now. There's a very nice, cringy photo of me here now, because we're going to go into a CBB story time. Hopefully not make you all fall asleep. As a little bit of a disclaimer, all of the names, job titles, imagery you're about to see are fake, to stop any further embarrassment for the actual people this happens to. But it is based on true events. Meet Pam. Office administrator and responsible for internal communications. Pam has an idea of a video she wants to create, so went straight to a content agency to discuss it with them. After a month or two, the video was produced and launched to a great reception internally. This cost Pam £15,000 of her annual budget. Meet Dwight, assistant to the regional manager and responsible for sales and marketing. Dwight has just seen the video on internal platforms for the first time. Nobody had told him about it, and he was a bit confused. Dwight loves the video and got in touch with the agency to produce something almost identical, but with a slightly more sales-focused voiceover and call to action, with a few different shots with the actors. This seems simple. Apparently not, because of course they have separate budgets, and Pam had spent her budget on this video. So when Dwight had approached her and said, well, I want to use that video for my sales and marketing, it was very, very simple no from Pam, because she's like, well, that's my 15 grand, what are you contributing towards this? There was no conversation at the beginning, meaning that there was no easy solution at the end. And also, of course, in Dwight's mind, he's just got to get a few extra shots. That's really simple, right? The agency can just whack them in half an hour. We need to remember that we need to recast the actors. There's a new shoot date, there's location fees, there's voiceover recording and buyouts for that voiceover. There's copywriting time for the scripts, there's equipment cost, there's editing time. It's basically a new job. What should have happened is Dwight and Pam should have had a conversation before the process started with Pam's internal video, and then obviously Dwight would have said, yes, I need my own cut, let's work together, and then there would have been massive amounts of savings, because when you look at it, because the process wasn't followed internally, it's cost internal comms 15 grand, it's cost sales and marketing 15 grand, it's cost the business 30 grand, whereas in reality, if that conversation had happened earlier, there would have been slightly more increase on a couple more edits that needed to be done, but altogether it would have been about 18 grand, we could have split that internally, 9 grand, you've got an extra 6 grand to spend on more content. Pam and Dwight won't make the same mistake again, but of course this is just a small example. I want to talk you through a bigger example that is happening all the time. Meet Joe. By the way, if no one's an Office US fan, you're not going to get any of this. No, you'll still get it. Joe is the CEO of a national brand. She trusts the experts. Joe likes to be transparent about everything and even gets angry when someone says the agency is working for them. As she says, we're working together on one common goal. She plans all marketing activity with her agencies as a collective, and everyone understands their role in the mission. Meet Robert, CEO of a different national brand, doesn't trust anyone or anything. Robert knows how much budget he has for the year, but he likes to pretend to his agency that he doesn't, as he thinks it will get him a better price. He sees his agencies as suppliers, a collective of people who just seem to keep asking for more and more money. Joe and Robert both have around £250,000 per year to spend on content. So the quarter before the new financial year, Joe chairs an all-agency meeting to discuss the business's plans for the next financial year. During the meeting, she makes it clear what each agency is responsible for, stopping any land grab and allowing each agency to focus on what they're best at. A full insight report is commissioned about the business's audience, where they're consuming content and what type of content they want to see. Yes, only 12 months after doing the last one. And Joe and her team and the channel experts sit with the agency to map out a full year plan in accordance with a £250,000 budget and the objectives. Robert doesn't want his agencies to talk to each other because he's worried the SEO agency might find out that he's told the paid agency that he might give the SEO contract to them. So even though he'd only told them this to get a discount, Robert says he has insights and doesn't need any more doing. He proceeds to send his content agency a deck he put together 3 years ago. The deck talks through 3 personas, Michael, Karen and Susan. If you put all the information together, it basically just summarises every person in the UK. He doesn't plan for any content until the financial year starts. Q1, the agency has already made a ton of savings as they hate dead time on set and they understand what else is to be shot throughout the year. So they're grabbing B-roll shots to use in content for later down the line. The agency are working across social, VOD and internal content, using content created across all 3 in different ways to maximise every penny. Their content is perfectly aligned to the audience's needs as the research and insights led the creators this way, meaning results are already exceeding last year's. Robert sent 1 video brief to the content agency asking them for an idea. When the agency asked for an indicative price, he said that he needs their guidance. The agency invested around £10,000 of their own time developing ideas and pitching it back to Robert. Robert loved them, but when he was presented with a price of 30k for this piece of work, he responded with, "But I've only got 10 grand." The agency then showed him an idea that was 10 grand and the work was produced and put out to try and attract Michael, Karen and Susan. He also spent 20 grand on some internal comms. Q2, Joe's agency don't need to film anything else this quarter as they've been proactive with their approach, ensuring that content has been captured on previous shoots for this quarter's activity. Work begins on new gamification loyalty scheme for customers that was pitched to Joe last financial year, and as Joe's only had to pay for editing costs in the quarter, her spend is low but the results are still growing. Robert's in a state of panic. Michael, Karen and Susan aren't biting the hook on the oh so amazing £10,000 worth of content that was produced. He analyses his budget and tells his agency that they've got 60 grand to do something that will, and I quote, go viral. He says, it just needs to be a video that people will share, you know, like this one. He shows a video of Charlie bit me, but Robert sells paper. Although the agency tried to warn Robert against this approach multiple times, Robert was insistent and the video was produced. He didn't tell his media agency about it, so it got 86 organic views. Q3, Joe's agency are in phase 2 delivery for the year. The gamification project's flying and the team are now just taking learnings from the first half of the year and testing new content with different audience sets. As all agencies are fully aligned with the objectives, results are exceeding expectations. Robert's fuming. He's spent nearly 150 grand of his budget and results are poor. He brings in the content agency to tell them that the content they're producing needs to be bringing in better results and explains the media agency have produced a channel strategy. Unfortunately, this strategy is based on Michael, Karen and Susan, so no one understands the real audience and what type of content is going to make them convert. The content agency are told they've got 50 grand for video assets to run across VOD and some social cuts. Finally, Q4. Joe's business smashed financial targets for the year in the first month of the quarter. She's now planning for the next financial year with the agencies and the cycle continues, but with a 500k budget and the board firmly behind her plans. Robert can't understand why his budget hasn't achieved what he planned. Is all the agencies in place? Why aren't they producing the results that he paid for? The VOD strategy is live and some leads do come through, but not as many as he hoped. The agencies asked for an all-agency meeting to discuss next year and a full insights process has been pitched in so everyone can fully understand who they're trying to attract. Robert refuses as he doesn't see the benefit in insights and tells the agencies he'll speak to them all separately. So what's the difference? Joe smashed targets, Robert didn't. Joe ensures all the different teams are talking to each other, ensuring channel experts and activation specialists are part of the content planning with the creatives. Robert didn't. Joe trusts her agencies with budget knowledge, allowing them to forward plan, maximising efficiencies so money wasn't spent on reshooting content that could have been shot in previous shoots. Guess what? Robert didn't. And Joe got a fat bonus. Robert didn't. So which comes first? It's the age-old debate of creative always leads versus channel always leads. And Creatives will always go with the blue, you know, the channel experts or the activation or the performance specialists will always go with the orange. Whereas actually over our 12 years and the experience that we've kind of found working on global brands, we've actually found that actually they supercharge each other. Neither of them come first. They have to be at the same time, and it's really important if the creative team's going off in one direction and your activation specialists are going off in the other and there's no insights there, the results are always going to be poor. Even if you create the best content in the world, if it's going to the wrong audience, what's the point? But it's not all about video and written content. Using creative technology to boost customer loyalty, and I've discussed gamification in the story with Joe there. If I haven't got anything which is worthwhile doing this with, but this USB adapter here, if I offered it for free, would you take it? Would you put it in the bag? Probably not, because it's worthless. It's worth like a £5, and you'd probably be like, all right, nice one. Whereas if we played rock, paper, scissors for that, and you actually earned that, the likelihood of you wanting to put that in your bag and take it home increases massively. This is what happens with your brand giveaways and discounts, because they feel worthless. The psychology behind it is, well, everyone's getting it. Everyone's getting something for free. Everyone's getting 20% discount, or everyone's getting a free product, or whatever it might be. So people don't redeem them because it's worthless. What we do is actually bring that mentality and that psychology into gamification and interactives and creative technology by taking what Guinness were already giving away, Green King were already giving away, and Subway were already giving away for free, whereas actually making people work for it. I'm talking a 30-second game, nothing, it's not mastermind, it's just something really, really simple, but at the end, it actually makes them feel like, actually, this is mine, I've earned this now, I'm going to redeem it. We've then found that 49% redemption rate in Guinness, which is unheard of, a 77% increase in redemptions for Green King, and a 73% increase in redemptions for Subway by using this methodology. Finally, I did say in the preamble for the talk that there was a little bit of technology that we're working on with the BBC that I just wanted to quickly talk you through as well, which is object-based media, which I think is going to change the marketing landscape for good and forever. So traditional media is captured using traditional tools. A linear program is produced for the media. The program is broadcast to everyone, and the same content is played back to everyone, no matter who you are. Object-based media, it's captured using new and traditional tools. Metadata is then produced and recorded. These are packaged as a collection of objects, so everyone is seeing something different. I'm an Aston Villa fan. If you're a Tottenham fan and there's a Sky Sports advert, we will see different ad sets. You'll get the Tottenham highlights within the advert, I'll get the Aston Villa ones because that's going to catch my eye. It works the same with podcasts and radio as well. The objects are then broadcast to everyone, accompanied by the metadata, which describes all the ways in which objects can be assembled. Individual devices in the home assemble objects according to the metadata, producing the best experience for the viewer in the context of their devices, environment, and preference. So this is already out. We were working with the BBC during their R&D phase on the perspective podcasting, and it's already out now with weather forecasts, with video podcasts, and also stuff right across the website, whereas they're actually looking to partner with companies over in the States at the moment to make this global, and I actually see in a few years' time this being a lot bigger than it is right now. So to summarise, innovate. Your audience is getting it from your competitors, and it's what they now expect in 2022. Ensure your agencies are planning content together so everyone understands the channel strategy and the reasons why. Better still, use one create and activate agency to handle everything for you. I'll stand just there. So everyone sat in the room are talking to each other and there's no land grab. And obviously the main thing is trust your agencies with the knowledge of budget and also the future plans so that they can be on set or creating content for months down the line before that brief even comes in. Thank you very much. Cheers.